All right, boys and girls, today's the day we're going to start writing our rough drafts of our stories. You have gotten yourself organized, you've kicked around lots of ideas. So today we're going to get that off the ground, but I don't want you to worry. First things first, I'm going to model for you this process, and then I'm going to talk to you about how you're going to dive into it. We're going to take it bit by bit each day, and we're going to be working on this for a while. So no rush, no pressure, no stress. Just we're going to start getting our ideas out there and writing, okay? When we're doing our rough draft, we are going to be writing in complete sentences, and we're no longer going to be putting abbreviations. So for my friend Elizabeth, I can't put E, right? I need to type out her name. One of the great things about doing our rough drafts here on the computer is it makes it really easy for us to spell check it, and it makes it easy for us to copy paste it into a rough draft. So we don't have to recopy it and rewrite it by hand again and again. So this is going to be pretty awesome. So remember when we're writing that each time we get to a new paragraph, we indent. How do we indent on a computer? Who remembers? Which key down here does it? Which key? Which key? Tab. You're so smart. Tab. If you just push the tab button, it will automatically make your paragraph indent. Perfect amount of spaces, okay? So each time you get a new paragraph, hit enter to go to the new row, tab to indent, all right? Remember, because we're writing about a story that already happened, you're going to be writing in past tense. Past tense, it's already happened, okay? The only time that you might use present tense is if you're using dialogue, okay? Or if you're using thoughts that were happening at that moment. And I'm going to give you an example of that in just a little bit. All right, so here we go on to our next slide. Your beginning. So remember, we've talked about this a little bit. You want your beginning to grab your reader's attention. It's your hook, right? Great ways to hook are with sound effects, like an onomatopoeia. You can have quotes, like in your dialogue. You can have a 3-word list. When we did persuasive writing, we talked about the power of 3. So that's another way you can do something. You might ask a question, or you might establish the setting. If you can do combinations of those as well, but you want to make sure that your reader, when they get your story, that they've bought into it, that they want to know what happens next, okay? All right, so now we move on to looking at slide 30. In the middle, just to kind of overview here, the middle provides you with more details about the event, including those events in chronological order that you did yesterday or day before yesterday in your Google Slides. You're going to add some of your sensory details and maybe some more dialogue here. You've got to keep the action moving so that you don't get bogged down in too many silly details, okay? Then success, how to get your ending. It looks like you might want to look back on the experience and explain the lesson you learned. Somewhere at the end of your story, got an email? You need to explain the lesson that you learned in your story, okay? That's kind of the big point of these stories we're writing. That's one thing that all 53 of our stories, the 52 of you plus me, have in common is that we've all learned a lesson from the story we're choosing to write about, okay? So here we go. You ready? All right, so first draft, you're going to start by writing your draft, and you're going to insert as many slides as you need, okay, because it's obviously not all going to fit here, but I am going to start typing down here, and I'm going to just kind of walk you through my process as I start to write, and then we'll talk about how I go back and edit and change some things, okay? The first things first, I know I need to indent, so what button am I going to push? Right? Tab. Good job. All right, tab. So I'm going to start with an onomatopoeia. Buzz. Ah! That's my friend screaming, right? What's happening? Panic flows through, oops, there we go, my veins. Ouch. Oh, I got a speller there. I'll have to go back and fix it. Buzz. Yellow jackets, right? I am starting at the climax of my story, and then I'm going to take you backwards. These are, whoops, yellow jackets. Let's finish the sentence. Swarming on me like a waterfall. Do you see what I did there? put a simile in here, right? Like a waterfall, the yellow jacket's swarming onto me. All right. That was how it all began. Dun. New paragraph, so I'm going to push enter and then tab. All right. I was, oops, walking in, oh my goodness, Garrett's fingers are going crazy today, in the woods with my two friends, Elizabeth, I'm going to mention her first because she plays a bigger role in this, and Robin. We were singing the latest tune from Olivia Newton-John. She was like the Billie Eilish of my day. She was amazing. She had this really cool song about PE class. It was phenomenal. All right, so we were singing the latest song by Olivia Newton-John when we saw a hole in the ground. All right, I did this on purpose, but oh my goodness, that's the wrong hole. Next week, we're going to work on this exact thing, right? These homonyms. So I'm going to come back here. It's just typing, right? Just working in the computer. So I can just click there and make it the correct hole, right? Because it was a hole in the ground, not the whole thing like you talk about with fractions and decimals, right? All right, so we see here I've established a few things already in the story that your reader needs to know. I've established the setting because I'm talking about that I was in the woods, right? And I've established the characters, myself and then my friends Elizabeth and Robin. You don't want to go too far into your story before you establish some of those things. The reason is, just like I tell you when you're reading to visualize, 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 you need your reader to be able to visualize your story. Okay, so they need to know where you are and who you're with. So then as I think on this, I think, well, I did tell him it was the woods, but I didn't say if it was morning or night or winter. Is it snow on the ground? Is it springtime? What's happening, right? So I need to go back and add a detail in here to help establish my setting a little bit better for my readers. I was walking in the woods on a cool fall afternoon with my two friends, Elizabeth and Robin, right? So just adding in that little detail gives you a much better picture to make so that you can visualize as you read my story, and your readers need that too. So when you finish today, I just want you to write the first paragraph or two, but I want you to make sure that you go back and that when you go back, you can that your readers are able to visualize, that you've kind of set the stage. They can see the setting, which is time and place, and then for the most part, they know who your characters are going to be. Now, I haven't introduced every character. I haven't talked about Elizabeth's mother and brother yet because they're not important right now, but I'm getting people into the story so that they can visualize what is happening and where we are. So that's your goal for today. I just want you to write maybe one, maybe two paragraphs today and then stop. I do not want you writing the whole thing because we're going to talk about some stuff as we move along. And also, we're just going to do bits and pieces. And this way, I can give you feedback in bits and pieces. But if you dump the whole thing out there at once and all 52 of you do that, I can't read 52 papers all at the same time. It's just too much. So just a little bit today, and then we'll keep working and pushing through our story over the next several weeks. Okay, boys and girls? I'm super excited. I've loved seeing your ideas. Y'all have done a great job with some chronological order. Remember to try to use some diverse vocabulary, nice, good, complete sentences, and watch for run-ons and fragments, my friends. Watch out for those, okay? But I look forward to working with you, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Take care, guys.